And here's a diagram in front of you from a chart that I'm keeping an eye on every day. It's an Arctic Ice Area chart, an NSIDC. And basically what it is, I've gone back through the chart. I've started from 1988, and you can see basically where it's going through the years up to 2016. This image is showing how the ice caps are melting 100% because the Nibiru system and Nemesis is in the horizons. Nibiru and Nemesis have been coming in very slowly, but they've been coming in to a situation where now our Earth's core is being affected. You can also see on the charts as I've produced last week and the week before of the jet stream, you can see where that situation is happening, and we'll see the jet stream again. Because basically government are hiding this from us. This is the real true event. This is what we want to see. We want to see what's going on. And you can see there in the middle there, the blue hole there. Where basically that area is completely melting now. And all part of the land and everything, and all over the world, it's basically we're basically having tsunamis, earthquakes, pressure, water pressure everywhere, where the sea levels are rising. I went to Hull today in the UK, and I checked the sea levels as well. I went down to the front, to the sea line, and you can see basically where the levels have reached tremendous amounts of water is coming in now. The levels are rising all over the place. I've checked other webcams and I've noticed the sea levels have just they're rising at dangerous levels, and we all need to know this. It's so important. So I'm going to go and check some other charts, and also I want to check the Soho sun chart as well. All this, all these asteroids and all this, these bits coming off the sun. It's very strange, and we're going to look at this. This is an aurora forecast for, basically it goes through the days. It's the 22nd, 21st and 23rd, 24th of the 12th, 2016. You've got the time date stamp there as well. And also you've got the solar terminator and the viewing as well. This forecast shows of all the solar flares that are coming down towards our Earth. And they are basically attacking us 24/7 now. We're getting huge solar flares in that area of the Earth, as it's tilted that way. Now this is causing the ice caps to melt. This is one serious situation. And the aura forecaster is absolutely showing proof. These things are happening now, and we need to look at these different charts, because the charts are always there. It's very important, because at the end of the day, checking these auroras, they're getting much bigger now. There's more solar flares activity that's hitting our Earth now than any other time in the years. And they're pumping all these chemicals up there to stop this. As many of you have seen the sun today, the sun going down today, you would see the haze, the chemtrails on the horizons above the sun. You can see it all happening now. So these visible auroras are basically attacking our Earth up right now. We're getting these huge solar flares now. Huge, massive solar flares. Here's other solar flares coming from the southern hemisphere. This is the other chart from the southern hemisphere. Look at the size of these solar flares that are coming in. There are too many solar flares that are attacking our north and south pole. This is all happening now. And this is what's going to cause the pole shift. The pole shift will happen. The northern hemisphere is not as much as the southern hemisphere, but the southern hemisphere is getting really seriously attacked now. We're getting some huge CME solar flare attacks hitting our poles now. And they've been hitting the poles on Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They've been monitoring this, and now we're getting it. We're going to head for the shift. The shift will happen. And when it does happen, we're going to get all the tsunamis. This is all because of the brown dwarf star. Nemesis is out there in the system now, and when it's time to prepare, because we're getting all these huge flares. The poles are being affected now. You can see this on the screen. This is another Soho. You can see basically the screen here on this cam. There's loads of activity out on the cam. Look at there's the sun that's being hidden by the disk that they put up there to hide what's going off. Now look at all the activity that's happening around our sun right now. There's so much stuff. There's so many comets. There's so many meteorites and asteroids that basically are breaking off the sun. There's so many things out there so dangerous now that can basically land on our planet Earth. They're going at billions of miles an hour. These splinters, these rocks, these formations. It's all being burnt off the sun as Nibiru and Nemesis are in our system. You can see that large reflection getting bigger now, up at the 11 o'clock position of the sun. And there at the 2 o'clock position there's another shadow. And also when the solar flares do spit out from the sun, you can see basically the roundness of the heavenly bodies. There's a huge celestial body there at the 10 o'clock position. It can only be seen by an infrared telescope, but it's there. And it's just basically observing this situation. Because there's so much trash and meteorites and comets that are being dragged by the Nibiru system. And look at it, you can see all this stuff that's being swung about in the horizons. Some of these objects are as big as our planet Earth. It's huge. Things are changing out there now. You can see the flares and look at the darkness. This huge reflection coming at the 7 o'clock position as well. But they won't show you what's going on behind that disk. It really is important that we know now that these objects are out there in space that are basically being flung all over the place. So important. Things are changing out there now in the solar system. There's a huge problem at the 10 o'clock position of the sun. Can you see how it basically disappears and then reappears? And also you can see all these objects that spin. Can you see that? That black object, that is a reflection from one of the heavenly bodies. It's so close to the sun now. Now these are very, very close, these heavenly objects right now. And when they leave the sun, they're coming up from the backside and they will come and travel towards our heavenly body, our Earth. It's all there, documented on the screen. You can see everything that's going on. And these other objects, they are blasting through the skies and things. And I've paused and zoomed into these objects. Some of them look like craft. Disc-shaped craft. Some like square blocks. They're like blocks that are close to the sun, as if they're taking the energy off the sun. These huge cubes. Huge, massive cubes. And they look like they've got patterns on them. And there's loads of other celestial bodies that are moving across the sky on that cam. It's such an amazing sight, basically. But it would be much better if we can try and move that disk, if there's a way to try and move the disk, so we can see more of what's going on. Can you see the objects that are moving across the sky above the sun? And what is going on? It's like they're craft up there, and also all these comets and asteroids and things, and pieces of chunks of rock that are being blasted away, that are coming off the sun. I believe that it's all coming off the sun. Looking on the blue filter here, you can see basically these huge solar flares that are attacking our Earth every single day. You can see basically the blackness, the thickest part of the solar flare. These coronal mass injection situations that are heading for Earth. They're being blasted towards our Earth every single day. And our magnetic field is weakening to such a point now where they're chemtrailing to try and stop this from happening to us. They're on the last legs. This is the last time. This is it. We've finished. It's basically now the sun is getting so much of being agitated by Nemesis. This is the time now for the pole shift. We're going to have a huge shift now. It's only a matter of time now. We're on borrowed time. We really are on borrowed time. And we need to prep and prepare. We really do. We need to prep. Now I went out last night and I took some footage of the stars. And it got cloudy, but I was very surprised to see two heavenly objects that were in the sky. And I believe that to be Nemesis and Nibiru. I really do. And then the sun came up. So we're in the last of days. We really are. And I just hope that people do survive. And I wish government will say something, because it's so important. It's getting to a point now that the sun is expanding now. It's getting huge. This is what's called a solar speed chart, where it basically records the speed of the solar flares that are heading on towards our planet Earth. And basically they're documenting everything. As you can see the timestamp on the bottom left corner. A special cam in the middle of the screen and picks up the temperature readings and the size of the solar flare that's trying to attack our Earth. So basically, as I said before, they've got all the equipment now, they've got the technology now to check the speeds and the size of these flares that are coming through. This is information showing a solar flare probabilities, where basically you can see where it says 2619, and the other flare there you can see as well, the figures and numbers down below. Now the thing is though, NOAA are keeping a strong eye on these two large holes that are basically on the sun, in the sun, and these flares are spewing out towards our planet every single day. We're getting huge solar flare activity through these two holes. Now basically it's very important because this is the true reason why they're chemtrailing, because the activity has got so bad now. They are spraying our skies, people are getting unwell, and these solar flares are spitting out at us as the sun is in its solar maximum. The reason why this is because the brown dwarf now is lurking so close to our sun. It's causing our sun to tilt and get so agitated about the situation. And still, NOAA, NASA, government will pull the wool over your eyes and spray the skies as much as they possibly can to hide the true event that's coming, it's incoming. When we get the pole shift, we're going to know about it, alright? We're going to know. It's going to shift, and we're just going to basically be dragged as these huge tsunamis cover our land, and then the big freeze. It all has been documented in movies and films, The Day After Tomorrow, and other films as well. It's just so important that you see these information charts, because it's showing the true situation. Over there, in the inner solar system of our sun is being attacked by the heavenly bodies that are now slowly eclipsing our sun. The colours of the sun now are very strange. They're not the same colour anymore. It's because we're getting reflections from the heavenly bodies. And Nemesis, the binary twin, is so close now. It's drawing all the energy from our sun. And people need to believe, and it's time now. Here we have a day and night chart that's on Earth, and basically it's being tracked daily for solar flare activity, and also for earthquakes and all sorts of other activity. And basically NASA and NOAA are getting paranoid, they're getting scared now, they're getting worried about the whole situation. They're chemtrailing most of the areas when these solar flares are attacking from the sun, and they're moving a rapid pace. 8 minutes it takes from the sun for a flare to get to Earth. And when they get the alert that there's a huge one coming, which they are very much every day, they start spraying that part of the sky. And also when Nemesis is showing in the reflections, they start spraying as well. They don't want you to see this. They don't want you to see anything. The thing is though, basically they're fighting a losing battle, as I said earlier on, because these solar flares are getting huge now. Billions of miles long. Fireballs. Just massive amounts of fire. All this fusion that's been spat out to us, to the Earth. And we are all just to sit down and ignore this? No, we need to know the truth. And basically, we're starting to understand now what's going on, NASA. You can see on this cam here, it's dated the 21st of the 12th, 2016. You can see the skyline there, and them chemtrails. them chem clouds, them chemicals that are basically trying to hide the Nibiru system, and also to try and stop these solar flares that are coming in. They are coming in at a huge, rapid pace. I have read the documents today from the NOAA system, and they are concerned. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't. We're getting blasted every day now because Nemesis is activating. It's basically got to a situation where Nemesis is agitating everything right now because our sun doesn't want it to be there. The binary twin. It's here. It's here, and it's not going to go anywhere, and we're going to see the very strange weather patterns coming shortly. Climate change is a hoax, as I said before, and Nemesis is coming in. On this weather cam in Australia, you can see, well, the temperature is showing down the bottom left-hand corner at 20.4 Celsius. It's very hot. And basically, you can see those chem clouds, them grey clouds.